Hi everybody, it's American English Russell here. So I wanted to take a minute to talk with you a little bit differently today. You know, the purpose of my channel is to help you learn American English and to sometimes teach you a bit about American culture as well. But there is something that's been going on the last few months that is starting to bother me, so I want to send a message out to sort of clear the air and make sure you know the truth. Every day I speak to students all over the world on video calls, and almost every day that means I'm speaking to someone new, someone who I have never spoken with before. And within 1 or 2 minutes of the conversation starting, they always ask about the coronavirus situation in the United States. And then, there's been the whole Black Lives Matter things and other, riots and disturbances and the political debates. There's been a lot of news coming out of the U.S. And unfortunately, that means that there's a whole lot of misinformation and bad news. It's no secret that news in the U.S. and I'm sure in other countries is not always accurate and honest. There's almost always bias and political objectives. I cannot tell you how many people have very seriously asked me if I was the only person still alive in my city, or they have expressed genuine surprise that I appear to be happy and alive and healthy and well. Because in your news, you're hearing that America is a wasteland of death and violence and destruction. And so, look, the coronavirus situation is serious all over the world. I am not going to go so far as to say there is no problem in my city or there is no problem in the U.S., but I will say that many media around the world have very much exaggerated the situation in the U.S., and the United States is a very large country. So some of the news you're hearing reflects the situations in very specific areas, especially very large cities. Here in my relatively small city of Louisville, Kentucky, we are still having people test positive for the virus, and unfortunately that does mean that some people have died. But it is a very, very small percentage of people. I am not sick. No one in my family has contracted the virus or died. I do know people who have contracted the virus, and I have heard of people who have died. And my city, Louisville, Kentucky, was the epicenter of one very important Black Lives Matter incident, and that was the case of the tragic death of Breonna Taylor. Again, I am not political. I am not making comments about what I think about any of these situations. The truth is, there were riots and destruction and terrible things that happened in my city. Most of those things happened in the downtown, the central business district area, which is far away from where I live. And that does not mean that it does not impact me or I do not care, but it does mean that I have not seen a single riot or piece of violence in my neighborhood. So for all of the people who I think with very good hearts have expressed concern about the fact that I am living in the USA and all the horrible things that are going on around me, the situation is not that bad. I am safe. I am not sick. I am in no danger. I appreciate your concern and your love very much. But please understand that not everything that you see and hear is perfectly accurate. Peace and blessings, my friends.